Hey guys. So today I'm going to be going over some of the virtual instruments that I use in my productions. There are tons of virtual instruments that you can use. I'm just showing you what I use, what I like, what I've purchased. There's definitely a lot of free stuff out there, a lot of stuff that comes with your DAW that you should be utilizing and you should be learning first. And then you can start to move towards some of this paid stuff. But this is just how I get my sound. So if you're curious, here we go. I'm going to stick with just software synths today. I'm not going to get into plugins or anything like that. So the main one that I'm using is Serum. It's by Equator Records. Awesome plugin or awesome software synth. I won't go too in depth with it. I just want to show you, kind of the stuff that I utilize it for. I'm using it for a lot of my sub basses. There are a ton of presets you can get out there. A lot of people are giving away free presets, or if you look on Facebook groups, Facebook forums, and stuff like that. Or my favorite place to get presets is splice.com. So yeah, I'm using it a lot of times for my sub bass. Here's what it sounds like. Yeah, so you can get some great sub bass sounds out of it. Let me see if I can find a couple more. There you go. Now I'm also using Serum for a lot of my leads. A lot of those, future bass type super saws and stuff like that. And a lot of times, starting with a preset, something that I got off of Splice or whatever, and I'm just tweaking. And if you know what you're doing with the synth, there's nothing wrong with using presets. Nothing wrong with getting a starting point. A lot of times I'll have a sound in my head, for a synth that I hear in my head, and I go, well, maybe I can't create it from scratch, but maybe I can find something that, someone else has already started that will get me close. So it'll save me a lot of time. Honestly, I don't care. I think the end result is really what's most important here. It doesn't matter, if you know every single parameter on, this software synth. I think it's more important that the end result is good and that you're happy and that you're enjoying making music. So, but that said, it is important to know what you're doing, and you're not just, hopefully you're not just tweaking random knobs and stuff like that. So there is something to be said for going in and getting an in-depth knowledge of this type of stuff so that you know how to get your end results and, tweak a synth or whatever. So here's an example of some lead sounds that my friend just released, and they sound pretty great. So, I mean, a lot of times I'll just flip through and just find stuff, and I'll go, okay, maybe I'll end up on something that sounds close to what I wanted, but not quite there. And then it's just a matter of going in and and saying, having an ear for it and knowing your synth and knowing what you need to tweak to get it to where you do want it. So maybe I like this sound, but it comes in way too quick and too fast for me. So I want to back the attack off. I want it to rise up like that. So you just tweak the attack. I mean, there's a lot. I'm not going to go into this now. Maybe I'll do a separate video. There's tons of videos on Serum. So another one that I'm utilizing, this one, this is pretty old school. A lot of people have been using this for a long time. Is Massive. It's by Native Instruments. Great plugin. Here's what it sounds like. Just initial preset here. A lot of people have used this for dubstep basses in the past. You can use it for, leads. You can use it for just about anything. I find myself using it a little less now that I have Serum, but it's still a good synth to have in your arsenal. This one, for me, it's a little quicker to get a sound just because I'm so used to it. You got 3 oscillators here, 2 filters, an amplifier, and then your LFO and envelope section. So I'll just make a sound real quick. If you're curious, what I'm doing here is assigning this LFO to this filter. And that's what it's going to give it kind of a wobble. And there you go. Dubstep bass. Again, not going to get too crazy with Massive here. There's so much about that. So if you're curious, keep looking online. You'll find tons of stuff. Let's see. Another one that I use is Alchemy. This is a stock Logic synth. And this used to be, I can't remember the name of the company, but basically Logic bought it out and took over their synth. Great synth. They've made it even better from what I've heard. I never used the original version, but it's a great synth. I'm using it more for like pads and stuff. I feel like it's really cool because of the main thing that I find really cool about this synth is this XY pad area. It's great for you can automate it and transform stuff, and it's like really rich and really really diverse sounds. Again, I don't get too crazy with tweaking this synth. I do, I kind of just go for the presets most of the time. Some synths more than others I know how to work a little bit better. Alchemy is pretty crazy. There's a lot that you can do. But yeah, a lot of times I'm just going for pads, and then I'm utilizing this XY pad to, and I'll automate it. Or I'll just, pull out the delay and the reverb or some of these quick controls. And if I know that I want to, add those effects on later on. But yeah, Alchemy is great synth and something that I highly recommend. I highly recommend Logic just because of the sheer amount of sounds and how great the sounds are that come with it. But, you can do this in any DAW as long as you want to spend the time to learn. The last one that I'll go over is Equator. This one's going to be kind of a specialty thing. Unlikely that you will have this. Actually, this will be the second to last synth that I go over. Equator is kind of its own thing because it comes with a special keyboard called the Roli Seaboard Rise. Really cool keyboard, kind of gimmicky, kind of tough to set up sometimes. So I don't know if I would recommend it, but this is where I get some of my crazier sounds. The thing about this keyboard is it's kind of like a touchpad mixed with a keyboard. It doesn't have full on keys. It has key waves. So you can move your hand and push down and move up, down, left, and right, and you'll get different sounds and stuff. Let me just give you a quick example. You can get really funky with it, and I feel like it'd be really cool for sound design and stuff, for movies or for video games. But I do incorporate it a little bit in my music, but half the time it actually ends up being a little bit of a frustration, honestly. Super fun to play around with, though. If you got money to blow, if you have money to blow, then it's a cool keyboard. Last one that I'll go over for today is Contact. It's not necessarily a virtual instrument itself, I guess, but more of a hub for many virtual instruments. It's by Native Instruments, and it's so I have Native Instruments Complete Ultimates. You can get Complete. You can get. I think you might even be able to get some of these instruments separately. I'm using it for drums. I'm using it for some synths, and I'm using it for sound design. I really like this Rise and Hit section. But yeah, some of these, I use it for the piano. Piano sound great on here. There's a ton of stuff. More stuff than I'm able to dive into. But, this is something that a lot of people are using. Especially for, again, sound design and film and games and stuff. So if you need more sounds and your DAW doesn't come with any, you might want to look into Complete or Complete Ultimate. And the last thing that I forgot to cover, something that's really important, is a drum sampler. I'm using this, again, is by Native Instruments. It's called Battery. A good drum sampler is pretty key. I know Ableton comes with one that seems pretty good. FL Studio, I'm not sure. Pro Tools, I don't know if it has a good drum sampler. But Logic, I'm not a huge fan of the one in Logic. It definitely does the trick, but Battery is definitely better. So, and basically the deal with Battery is you can use the factory kits and all that, or you can have your own here and drag in your own samples, and each one of these cells here represents one of your samples. And yeah, I think it's really important to have a good drum sampler so that you can that you can just do work. I mean, workflow is essential. You need to have a good workflow. That's one of the things I've found out. If my equipment's not working, if my setup's not right, my music is going to suffer because I just need to be able to think quick and get my ideas right out as they come. So that's super important. Again, I'm not going to go really in depth with what battery can do, but there is a lot that it can do. And if you're in need of a good drum sampler, I would look into battery. So I think I covered everything as far as, the basics of what I use as far as software synths today. There's other stuff that I definitely use. But those are the main ones that I think that are worth mentioning. And again, it's worth noting that you don't have to use what I use. I just think that you need to find a couple solid synths and a good drum sampler to get yourself started and just get in there and learn them well, and find some good presets for them. No shame there. But just get comfortable. Just get a set of tools that you like and that and just get to work. Don't worry so much. All right. If you guys like this, make sure to just like it or comment or anything. Let me know if you want to see more. Let me know what you want to see. Hopefully going to be doing a ton of these videos coming up. So thanks for listening.